Thanks a lot, Dennis. Very good. Again, we take questions, and just one comment. The panel probably here wouldn't be that familiar to all of you, but we've all worked together for many years. Actually, our age would hide the fact that we're actually quite an experienced bunch of people in terms of what these guys have all been up to. So I'd encourage, ask questions of any of you guys here. I'm pretty sure they can answer, cover very well for themselves. We'll open it up.
Sorry, Vic, could I just begin by asking Joe Higgins, could you describe what the mood is like out there among the public? And there's a lot of talk about the government parties, Fianna Fáil and the Greens being hammered. What are you picking up on the ground?
Yes, what we're picking up is a smouldering anger, a sullen anger, and a real resentment at the fact that a government which was in power for 12 years, which facilitated every hand's turn, a small cabal, speculators, developers and big bankers, to profiteer outrageously on the backs of young people needing homes, that they gave them such control over such an important part of the economy that they were in a position to crash the economy when the inevitable bubble that was created burst. There is huge anger at that. And that anger is intensified by the fact that it's ordinary working people who are now being savaged in terms of their living standards to pay for the crisis. While the government parties are quite clearly looking after and leaving in place those who caused this disaster. And people are very, very focused on the 5th of June. They are determined that they will take revenge on Fianna Fáil. I believe the Green Party as well, despite what opinion polls have seemed to show for the past period of time. And I think a party like the Socialist Party with excellent campaigning record of our members and the party generally on critical issues that are of importance to local communities. Just, for example, and this is my last point, we led a campaign in the 1990s against the double taxation water charges, which we said would be a considerable burden on ordinary families. That was confirmed a few months ago when the Minister for Social Welfare, Ms. Hannigan, said that if water charges had not been abolished after our campaign in at the end of 1996, each household would now face a bill of up to €800 per year. That would be an intolerable burden on top of people who are now suffering swingeing and savage cuts in their standards already. But Mr. Gormley, Minister for Environment, is strongly saying really that water charges will return. So for issues like that, which are a further imposition, that highlights the importance of Socialist Party candidates, and that's why I believe that we are getting a very strong response on the doors.
Could I just add on taking up that point as well? It's clear, for instance, in South Dublin, for instance, there's absolute. I think in general, actually, the government parties aren't really in a position to canvass it's that bad, as in they're literally getting attacked at the doors. But we have the situation in South Dublin where the council has been led for the last 5 years by the Fine Gael Labour group. And for instance, there was a big campaign in Tala in 2006 around the whole question of allowing the continued development of the Tala town centre. There's 2,531 apartments built, only 40% of them are occupied, and the discussion in 2006 was whether to allow that rate of development to continue. The people at Tala overwhelmingly came out asking for it to be slowed down, to let it settle, to get the schools in, just Section 23, private rented. They're just very concerned about the whole thing. There was a vote taken on July 17, 2006, 25 to 1, I was the one, to allow the thing to continue. And so what we're saying, and our line of argument will be with people, you attack the government, but unfortunately the alternative government are the people who have been running the council, and they really are no different. And Fianna Fáil would have been proud of what Fine Gael Labour did on South Dublin County Council over the last 5 years, and we're also quite happy to explain that to people. In other words, in that sense, we are, as far as we're concerned, the only real alternative in this election. I think that's something that has to be brought out more.
Given that, and I think Claire expressed similar sentiments with the other the opposition parties, what are you advising your supporters to do in regard to transfers?
Well, in South Dublin, we have a transfer arrangement between with independent Socialist candidate Pat Dunn, and that's the only person that we can recommend people to transfer to in our area. The other guys same.
We stand very much on our own records in the different areas. There may be one or two areas where there are independent people with a proven track record where we would argue for transfers, but in the main there isn't, you know.
And straight up, we can't recommend any other candidates just based on what we've seen and what they've done on the councils. We just can't recommend.
Would you be in permanent opposition if you continue with that line of
No,
argument?
no. You eventually you end up with a majority of councillors are Socialist Party or Socialist councillors.
I mean, realistically, when is that going to happen, Nick? Realistically, if 11 candidates over 4, well, I mean, when you said this time,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the
what I
point-
mean, just essentially I mean, the point that Ursula was making there is, are you just going to continue to be an opposition voice crying in the wilderness, or is there some stage where you look and seek alignments with like-minded other people and make the kind of compromises that other political party do? Because the people will say, what's the point of voting for the Socialist Party if they're never going to exercise any power?
Well, we are certainly in permanent opposition to the type of policies and politics that has prevailed at local government and national level. And we are implacably opposed to that, and I think most ordinary people are. Of course, and our whole experience is working with similar like-minded people in trade unions and in communities. It's a little bit ironic in some ways that at the time we led the battle that Joe referred to against the water charges in tandem with thousands of householders across Dublin, we had one councillor. Now we have more than that, and after the next election I'm sure we'll have more than that again. So change comes in many ways. It doesn't come just from local councils, or it doesn't just come from government in many ways. It often comes from pressure exercised on those forces. But we very much welcome, and we would hope that many like-minded community and socialist activists would get elected around the country, and that would be the prelude to a debate on the formation of a new party for workers and working people in this country, which we believe is badly needed.